Hello, everyone. Well, since I last talked to you, the world has turned another round or two, and the news just keeps coming in. We just keep coming in new news. Um, since I last spoke with you, um, Israel rescued 4 hostages, and we are so grateful to Israel for rescuing these 4 hostages. The 4 hostages were the ones that the news stations were playing over and over and over again, showing them being kidnapped by and taken hostage by Hamas. And they showed them again and again and again until we got quite tired of seeing their suffering over and over. We were tired of seeing their suffering, and we just wanted them back. We wanted it to be done, and we wanted these people that we saw in the video to be returned. They rescued the 4 hostages. It was a big operation, and one official that was working on this project lost his life in the carnage. And feel bad for him too. And 100 to 200 Palestinians supposedly lost their lives in the operation. But there shouldn't have been that many people guarding just 4 hostages. There shouldn't have been that many people guarding them. They had the Hamas had put top priority on keeping these people from being rescued, but they were rescued, and could have ended badly. They could have killed the hostages in retaliation, but they didn't, and the hostages were rescued. They went in. The IDF soldiers went in and pulled those hostages out of that hellhole where they were keeping them, and took them away to safety and to their families. Now that is something worth celebrating. I certainly do celebrate the release of these hostages, because we saw them every single day on TV and felt for their plight. But it seems like the world expects better from Israel than they do from Hamas. In fact, they give Hamas a free pass to do whatever comes naturally to a terrorist. Whatever comes naturally to a terrorist, that's what Hamas is allowed to do. Whereas Israel is expected to be the bastion of virtue, the total perfection, even though their people got kidnapped and held hostage and raped and murdered. Their people got raped and murdered and taken hostage by Hamas, by the people that they're fighting now. And Hamas, the only reason that Biden took Hamas's side against Israel is because they're the underdog. And he's bleeding heart liberal that cries big long crocodile tears for any underdog that he may happen to encounter. So that's what the way these college students are too. They don't care about the people that were raped and murdered by Hamas. They don't care about the people who were kidnapped and held hostage by Hamas. They think anything for the glorious cause, which is anti-Americanism and communism. So anything, even though we don't know if Hamas really is communist. I don't think Hamas is communist, but they are terrorists. They're a terrorist organization. Their main job is to inflict terror in the Jewish people. And now there's anti-Semitics now here in America. These young people have been brainwashed by their professors. And I can attest to this because I've been in school recently. they've been brainwashed by their professors to be anti-American first and foremost, and secondly to be communists, and thirdly to root for any underdogs there may happen to be in this world. But that underdog isn't always such a good person, right? That same thing with Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine is the underdog, so so Biden cries me a river of crocodile tears for them too, for Ukraine, because they're an underdog. Now they may be in the right. They may be in the right, but he only took their side not because they're in the right, but because they're underdogs. And roots for any underdog there may happen to be, including Hamas. So, yay for the underdog. I've been an underdog most of my life, so I should know that I can understand rooting for the underdog. But at the same time, I believe that the underdog should have a righteous cause before we take the underdog's side. And Hamas does not have a righteous cause. They want the complete and total destruction of the Jewish people, and they won't rest until they've destroyed the Jewish people. They won't rest. They'll never rest a single day until they get every inch of land back, like they said, from sea to shining sea in their Hamas terrorist national anthem. Oh man, it's unbelievable, these college students. I couldn't believe what they did. I couldn't believe it. They were not just rooting for the underdog, but they were opposed to Israel in every single way you can think of, brainwashed by their professors who are anti-Israel. Anti-Semitism doesn't have any place in our society. It doesn't. They are entitled to have a homeland, and they do, and that's Israel. And they're never going to give it up for anyone. They're even if they're attacked on all four sides, they're never going to give it up. They're never giving up their land. And so the Palestinians, as far as having a two-state solution, I don't agree with that. I think that Israel should govern Palestine and the Palestinians, and they should be in charge. They should be in control of the Palestinians and monitor and check on them every so often to make sure they're not building up a terrorist network or digging tunnels underground and making a bunker out of a hospital. Make sure that doesn't happen again. That's the main thing. Make sure this doesn't ever happen ever again. And they have to rule the Palestinians wisely and well. They haven't been doing that so far. Like the other day, an IDF soldier tied a Palestinian to the front bumper of his vehicle and was driving around with him. And that was not good. That was a war crime, but it isn't because of Netanyahu that happened. Nobody told him to do that. He was just doing it out of his own hatred of Palestinians. So that's not good. But Palestinians, they're getting killed because Hamas uses them as human shields. That's their modus operandi, and that's what they've always done, and that's what they'll always do, as long as there's a Hamas. So a lot of people are getting killed, but they're mostly Hamas, so don't worry about it. You know, Hamas and Hamas supporters who are willingly serving as human shields. And they say, well, it's a massacre every day. Well, every single day there's another Hamas leader that causes trouble. And when the Hamas leaders cause trouble, they have to take them out. So that's that story. Another story in the news is Vladimir Putin sending nuclear submarines and warships to Cuba, of all places. Now, if any of you remember in history class about the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis was during John F. Kennedy's administration. And he had to broker a deal with, can't remember a guy's name. Naturally, I can't remember the guy's name. It was not Boris Karloff. No, that's an actor. It was Khrushchev. I think it was Khrushchev. Khrushchev that banged his shoe on a table. He took his shoe off and banged it on a table to get it people's attention or to protest something he didn't like. But he had to negotiate to prevent a nuclear war right then and there. Kennedy did. And now we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. running for president. And we don't know if he's going to go the same way as all his cousin and his father and his uncle did. We don't know. We don't know if he's going to end that way. But he's trying to carry on the family tradition, you see, of being president or running for president, stepping up to the plate, fulfilling the duty to his country. And just thinking about the Putin sending the nuclear submarine and those warships to Cuba, and Cuba celebrated them. They gave them a hero's welcome because Cuba has been under sanctions for us for over 50 years. And it's been ever since Fidel Castro and they turned to communism. Well, now we've got communists here at home that are trying to turn us into a communist nation. And under the control of the elites, of course. The elites think they'll survive, but they won't survive communist purge. They won't be allowed to keep their ill-gotten goods. Well, not all ill-gotten, but some ill-gotten goods. And they're rightfully earned goods, too. They won't be allowed to keep anything if there's a communist government. So they're stupid. The elites that want us to become a communist nation are stupid. But this is very concerning, and it all happened on Biden's watch. Don't forget that. Don't forget that Putin was inspired to do this, to send nuclear subs and warships to the shores of the Americas on Putin's watch. And Putin inspired, Biden inspired Putin to do this. So, Biden hasn't been handling this correctly. And I don't think that Trump would handle it correctly either, because he would just bomb automatically. He would just bomb. And, he said that he would have bombed Russia if he had been president and had been in Biden's shoes. He would have bombed Russia. And the same thing with China, that if China attacked Taiwan, he would bomb China. So obviously Trump isn't dedicated to keeping the peace. And so he likes to rule by fear. He rules by fear, and he also rules by charming the masses. But I can't believe he said that. I was so shocked that Trump said that he would bomb Russia because he was friends with Vladimir Putin. He and Vladimir Putin were buddies. But he would go ahead and bomb him anyway. Shows what kind of uh, substance that Trump has. The substance of his being is no friends. He doesn't have any friends. He just kills indiscriminately because power, all that jazz. He wants power. He wants to seem powerful and be viewed as powerful and be powerful. And so to gain that power, he would do anything. So that's no good. We can't have Trump in the White House if he's just power hungry and power mad. Would bomb admittedly our enemies, but the enemies of our nation, but at the same time bombing them with and not caring whether he starts a world nuclear war. That's the main thing, is to prevent a nuclear war, whatever the cost. Prevent a nuclear war. Now, and that doesn't mean surrendering to our enemies. We'll never surrender. There is a point at which we would have to fight. We have to fight back. But we should do everything in our power to keep it from getting to that point. And we shouldn't surrender as a nation, but at the same time, we shouldn't give in that easily. But at the same time, we shouldn't be sending arms to Ukraine. That's why this happened, because we sent arms to Ukraine. So that's the story, and it doesn't seem to have a very happy ending. But if there is a nuclear war and we do die, going to a better place eventually. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's a smart guy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a really smart guy. He's got it all figured out. He is the smartest man, I'm telling you. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. he knows. He knows what day it is. He knows what's going on, and he knows he's got a plan. He's got a plan for our future, and he knows the right. His logic is impeccable. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s logic is impeccable. He knows what to do, no matter what the situation may be. So start looking into Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And he's got 15% of the popular vote so far. And that may not seem like a lot, but Biden has 25, and I think Trump has 21. I'm not certain about that. Don't quote me on that, but I think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has a shot. He's got a chance at winning, a real chance of winning. He's got a lot of support. So let's root for a man with a conscience that wants to keep us out of a world war. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf, signing off. You guys have a terrific week, and take care.